Welcome to this episode of George's Spicy Cars.
Alright, so what it is, we've got the frame where we want it now. We got it all welded in, the front piece of the frame, and then we just got done welding the back piece of the frame. So we're getting ready to add the outer torque box. There's 3 different pieces of the torque box. So after we got the frame in, we dry fit this where we wanted it to go, and then when we get it, it doesn't come with any holes drilled in it to where you want to weld it in at. So we drilled the holes, all the ones that we needed to fit the piece in. So that's where we're at right now. So I'm going to get ready to paint it. Okay, so we're getting ready to paint this piece since we got all the holes drilled.
Before Mike paints it, what we're going to do is we're going to take some enamel reducer and wipe the piece down, because when Mike and I drilled the holes, we used a cutting lubricant on the drill bits and on the piece of metal to help keep the drill bit cool and sharp, because a lot of times people will just start drilling holes and won't use any lubricant on the drill bit and it wears them out quicker. Then we're just going to wipe off the excess lubricant.
So the paint sticks?
So the paint sticks. So the paint holds on it. And if you want, you can always take some sandpaper and rough it up, but I really don't see a need to. The enamel reducer will do just good enough on it.
Well, no, we're also using that weldable primer on this piece, so it should not need any more primer than that, correct, Dan?
Yeah. But of course, once we get it all together, we're going to paint it with the rust resistant paint. Help seal it up, and hopefully it will last for a long time.
Okay, so we got it all cleaned up now, so we're going to put it in the position where it needs to be, and then we'll start welding it in. So basically, it needs a little bit of persuasion, I'm sure of it, to go where it needs to go. We have a couple of things to help put it into place, and wow, it went in there quite nicely.
Fits like it belongs.
Yep. So then we'll go ahead and start tacking it in where we want. Alright, so we've got our the outer torque box in, and the frame all welded in to where we want it. So now we're going to do the inner torque box today. So we want to dry fit it, make sure there's nothing else we have to do to prep it. We've got our places where we're going to weld primed with our welding primer, and then we had to pre-drill the holes that where we're going to fasten it in. We also painted the back of this already, since it's going to be enclosed, and we painted the inside of that. That's just something me and Dan decided to do. Not saying that it has to be done, we just figured that'd be the best way to handle it. So as soon as I get this piece fit in, we'll get her welded in, and then we'll start putting the floor paint in. Alright, well, so as we was dry fitting the inner torque box, we noticed that I'd welded this about when I welded the outer torque box in, I thought I was level with it, and I thought it was where it was supposed to be, but we wasn't fitting the way we should on the frame on the inside. So we noticed that this had to be, the torque box had to be more straight. Dan come up with a great idea. Hand me one of them. We got these here for our welder. It's got the 45-degree angle to hold metal together. So we went on the other side of the car, and when this fits in here, you should be a 45 like it is now. And what we noticed is we was off about a ½ inch. Just on the top, the bottom is okay. So if you go down here and look, see the bottom is okay. So anyway, we had to cut 2 welds and move our inner torque box in. So I'm going to go ahead and retack it now, and then we'll proceed to put the inner box in. Torque box. So we got it all fixed. Now we've got the inner torque box all put where we want it. So Dan's giving me the thumbs up that we can go ahead and put it in place now. So that's what we're going to start doing now. Alright, so we're at the point now where we got the torque box in. So we was thinking about putting the firewall extension in, but we feel that before we do that, we want to dry fit our new floor pans. So in order to make sure that we're doing everything right, the floor pans, there's actually a seat pan underneath, and the seat pan, which is this piece here, and then this is the firewall extension. So before we decide where we're going to put this or how that's going to fit, we want to see how the floor pan is going to fit. So we need to remove this seat pan. Now, we didn't buy new ones of these. We feel that the shape that these are in, they're good. There's a little bit of rust on the front and the rear, but we feel that we can patch it up and then not have to spend the money on that. We can spend it on something more important. Okay, so after we cleaned all the undercoating off the welds for here, we noticed that this isn't spot welded. It's actually welded directly at spot welded, but different than what we've been running into. So we'll have to use a disc grinder to cut these welds off. And then on this side, we have a few spot welds that we'll drill through on the front, the rear, and the side to remove this pan, and then we'll get to cutting out the floor pan. So as you notice, the smoke coming off it brings up a lot of heat. So if you keep it lubricated, it'll make your bits last longer. So when you're doing this, it's like we did the frame rail. You only want to go through the one layer of the metal, and that way it gives us something when we weld to fill up the hole when we weld it back together. So we got all these welds cut and drilled, so I think it's ready to come out. We'll see. Get our persuaders here.
Yeah, first don't see, get a bigger hammer.
Yeah.
Voila.
Hey, there's Dan's mouse.
Hey, there's that mouse nest.
You've been nothing for that, haven't you, Dan? Looks like we got one.
Oh, he's just breaking next time.
There we go. So, again, so that piece is out now. So Dan, we're going to use this stuffing to put back in the seat.
Sure. I'm sure the mice won't mind.
Alright. So now we're ready to see if put the other frame rail in here, or the floor pan, and see how it fits, so we know what to cut out and what to leave. Well, that wraps it up for this episode.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to help us out, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hope to see you again soon. Thanks.